Hello folks, my name is Lucke with Gardopia Gardens and welcome to episode 7 of Organic Gardening 101. Today we're going to be talking about fertilizing your garden. So, you have to feed your garden. Many times people come to me and say, hey, my fruits and vegetables aren't growing. The first thing I ask them is, are you feeding your soil? So if you're not feeding your soil, your plants are going to be hungry, just like you, and they're not going to produce the fruits of all the labor that you're putting into them. Here at Gardopia, we use a few different methods to keep our plants as healthy as possible, feeding them year-round. That includes compost, granular fertilizer, and liquid fertilizer. So starting with the compost, we follow Malcolm Beck, who has written many books on organic farming, and talks about applying compost to keep your plants as healthy as possible. We use Quality Organic Products compost, and it's a matrix of 7 different components, including coffee grounds, cedar flakes, pecan shells, red sand, green sand, manure, vegetable compost, and clay. This creates a very healthy microbiome throughout the year. And it continues to break down, so we're always applying about 1 inch of compost per quarter to keep our plants very healthy and happy. The next thing we use is a granular fertilizer, or slow release. So this right here breaks down over time. It's not going to be bioavailable immediately once you apply it, but over a few weeks the microorganisms will begin to break it down and the elements will be available to the plants for nutrient uptake. Liquid fertilizer. Liquid fertilizer is like a smoothie or a juice. It's absorbed almost immediately into the plants, and sometimes you can see a difference within 1 or 2 days in the plants. You can apply the liquid fertilizer with the watering can, with the foliar sprayer, as well as with a hose, or this can go directly into your drip line, and it's called fertigation. So, as you can see, there's many different methods. I would encourage you to do all of them because each one has different nutrients in it. And this isn't the only array of granular fertilizer and liquid fertilizer that you can use. And the credits at the end will make sure to provide a list of some different materials that you can buy at your local nursery or big box store. So now let's go into the garden and do a little bit of application. So I'm going to start out with the compost application, and you can apply compost to plants that are already planted, or this bed which is going in and out of season. It's a little bit more easy for me to navigate, so I'm going to apply my compost and my granular fertilizer to this bed. And depending on the scale of how big your space is, you may want to use a shovel or something a little bit bigger. Because this is just a 4x8 bed, I'm going to use my hands, and depending on how much compost you have, you can apply it around the base of the plant, and if you have more, you can apply it throughout the entire bed. And so again, about 1 inch per season will keep your soil extremely healthy. You have to realize that plants need nutrition, just like you need nutrition. And so compost is a more dilute way to fertilize, but because of all the microorganisms, the mycelium, the bacteria, the different types of insects that are housed in here, it really creates for a nutritious starter. It's almost like for, your baby, you give it a little bit of baby food. This is like a baby food for the plants, but it creates integrity and it creates structure to the garden as well. This organic debris also holds moisture, so it becomes like a sponge for your garden bed. Now that I've applied the compost, I'm going to apply the granular fertilizer. And this is a manure-free granular fertilizer, but having manure, and we have manure in our compost, is fine. This is just one that we've been test trialing from Adams Supply Co. And so you can put these in 2 ways. You can put it around the base of the plant, like so. Or another way is to sprinkle it throughout the bed. If you don't want to use your hands, or let's say that you have a bigger space, you can also use this, which is a spreader. This is more for lawns though, which this fertilizer can be used for lawns, and I encourage you to feed your lawn if you have one, or just a simple plant container, put it in, and then just sprinkle. throughout your garden. You have to water your garden, you have to feed your garden. Water your garden and feed your garden. That's how you're gonna get happy plants. If not, your plants are gonna look sick, they're not gonna produce, and everybody's gonna be upset at the dinner table. And it's very hard to over-fertilize with the granular fertilizer. I'm gonna apply a little bit more because remember, this is gonna break down over time. It's not gonna be immediately absorbed. And there you have it, a compost and granular fertilizer application. At the end of the video, I will water this in. Now for the liquid fertilizer application. Again, there are various ways you can go about this with a watering can. This connects directly to the hose, and this is a foliar application. Step one is you fill them up. Step two, now that all of them have water, we actually need to put the fertilizer into the container. This right here is liquid seaweed. Liquid seaweed is good for plant health. It also allows them to become a little bit more winter hardy and drought tolerant. Give it a little shake, and I'm supposed to apply 1 ounce per gallon of water. This is 2 gallons. A capful is just about 1 ounce, so I'll do 2 capfuls. And they have measures if you want to get a little bit more exact. Right there. Just give it a little swig around. It'll start to diffuse. This here is liquid molasses. They also have granular molasses. This is high in sugar, and what it does is it activates the microbes in the soil, so they'll start to break down any of the organic debris or fertilizers that you have put. Essentially, it gives them energy to do their job. And this is 1 ounce per gallon. This is about just a little under a gallon, so I'll do my 1 ounce here. And this right here is liquid humus or humic acid. And this again is good for the breaking down of nutrients as well as feeding the plants directly. And this is 3 tablespoons per gallon. So I'm gonna use 3 right here. 1, 2, 3. It is important to do less than more. You can over water soluble fertilize your plants. Because it's a direct injection, if you over fertilize, you can kill your plants overnight. So make sure that you're not doubling or tripling what the directions say. Step 3, waters fill the container. We've also put the liquid fertilizer into the water, and now we simply just need to water. So as you saw today, whether you're applying compost, granular fertilizer, or liquid fertilizer, there's a little bit of an application process. But I guarantee if you feed your garden, you'll get 100, 200% higher yields, which can feed you and your family. If you have any more questions, go to our website or social media so that we can help you grow your own garden utopia.